Now we are going to use the view and connect to the template coding. So by now you already know how to create the framework coding. Okay. So the framework coding means you start the project, and then the model coding means you create the model and then you do the admin and then make migration and migrate, and you already learn about the SQL. And the last part would be how we can implement the template coding. So how we can show it to the web. So first, in the fuse.py, okay, so let's create a new file, fuse.py, in the folder FAQ, and let's write two functions. So the first function will be showing the questions, and the other functions will be showing the choice. So I will copy and paste this one, and let's create fuse.py in the folder FAQ. So I will create this file. The FAQ folder already contains one file, fuse.py, and then you can create your fuse here. So I can just copy and paste like this. So in this case, you will have two functions. The first is list question and the other is list choice. And I hope by now you already know the SQL. If I put this questions equal to the question.objects.all means I would like to show all the data in the question. And then the list choice means that whenever I choose this function, it will be depending on the question ID. So if I click something in this question, it will send an ID, and this ID will be the condition to show the choice data. So this will be the two functions. After we have the fuse.py, let's put on the urls.py. What is inside the urls.py? At the first time, you will see no urls.py in the FAQ. Okay, there is no urls.py. So let's create a new urls.py. So let's create a new Python file, urls.py. So you will have a new urls.py, and then put the code in the folder, in the file. So in the FAQ folder, you can create urls.py, and then in the urls.py, you can put the code that I create in the PowerPoint. Okay, so this urls.py, it contains two paths. So the first path is nothing. It means that we are going to access the list questions. So we are going to check what are the questions in the table questions. And the other is list choice. So we are going to access the choice, and okay, I have one parameter. This parameter is an integer, and it will be the ID. Okay, so we will take a look later after we finish all the modeling. Okay. So this is the URL pattern. So you already know it should include all the paths that you want to show in the web. After we have the URLs, so make sure that you also put the URLs in the parent folder. So in the parent folder, we only have one path. The one path is the admin. So this admin path, just leave it as it is. But we are going to make a new path, which is the FAQ, or frequently asked question. So I will just copy and paste this one. And then I need to put it into the URLs in the parent folder. Okay. In the parent folder, there is another URLs. This is the URLs for the whole website. So you can open this and you can see that there is one path. This is the path for going to the admin. And then you can add one more path, which is the path for accessing the FAQ. There is one error, include. As you might know before from the previous example, we need to import this one. Okay. The action, you can just click this one. There is a reference or there is a recommendation. You can just import. And what are the imports? So in this case, we are going to import the URLs. So you can see here, this is the URLs. So you can just connect the Django.urls.include. When you click, then you will see that include will be added to this statement. Okay, after you have this include, it means we are going to include the FAQ URLs. What is this one? FAQ is the folder name. And then this URLs is the urls.py. And then we can connect to this one. If we connect to this one, then we will go to the path that we just created. Okay, so make sure you update the URL patterns in the parent folder. After you have those, now let's just make a simple HTML. I will make list quest.html. I will copy and paste this one. I will make in the templates. Okay, as you know, whenever we have the HTML file, we need to put in the folder templates. So you can create a new HTML file, and the name of this HTML file, as I mentioned in the PowerPoint, let's put it list quest. So it will be the list of questions. And then you can replace this one with the code that I give to you in the PowerPoint. Let's look at this one later. And then I need to make another HTML file, this choice.html. So I will copy and paste this one. And then I make another HTML file, which is list choice. list.html. So this is the list choice, and then you can replace all the codes with the code that I give to you in the PowerPoint. And then let's see. Okay, so this is a website without any fancy CSS. Okay. Later on, you can design by yourself. Now let's see the result. We can go to FAQ. So in this case, we have a table like this. So the table will be, the first will be the question, where is neighbor? It has been submitted on March 30. And then you can check the choice. This is another example, what's up? And this is the answer. And this will be the question, and this will be the answer. So if I click on this check choice, then it will show the answer. Okay. And then if I click this one, nothing, because we have no answer for the second question. And if I click this one, it's also nothing, because we don't have any answer for those questions. Okay. Now let's see how the codes work for us. As you might know, we have the fuse.py. This is the backend. And in this code, we are going to access the question table and show all the data. And when we show all the data, we are going to use the listQuest.html. And we are going to pass this question. So this questions is the variable that we get from the backend, and we will put those information into the questions in the listQuest.html. What is this listQuest? So in this listQuest, we have the frequently asked question. This is the title. And then in the body, okay, we have UL. You still remember UL? This is the unordered list. Okay. Thank you. Okay. This is unordered list. So the list without any number. And the first, the data will be about the questions. For I in questions. And the first list will be about the question text, and then it will be the question publication date, and then I will make a link. What is the link? The link will be the connection to the list choice. What is this list choice? This is the URL link. Where can you get this list choice? When you press Control, okay, when you press Control, you can click and you will see that this list choice is the name of the app here. And I want to pass the ID. Sorry. I want to pass the I.id. What is I? I is one sample in the question. And I want to get the ID. So if it is the question number 1, then the ID will be 1. If this is the question number 2, then the ID will be 2. So it means this is link, and this link will go to the list choice according to the ID. and this is the formula. And I want to show for every data in the question. After I click on the list choice, it will go to the choice, the list choice.html, and I would like to check for every I in the choices. What is the choices? The choices follow the choices here, which is the variable for the HTML, and then this choices is from the variable choice. The variable choice is from the table choice dot objects dot filter, and I would like to filter the question ID. So the question ID will be the same with the ID. This is the parameter in the function, and I will get this ID from the path. So this is the ID, and it should be written with the triangle bracket. This is the triangle bracket. This triangle bracket will be the parameter. So the parameter will be in integer, and then this parameter will be belong to the variable ID. So if your attribute name is not ID, then you can just mention what is your attribute name here. Because we know that when we click the list choice, when we click here, so this I will connect with the ID in the questions. So whenever we have the ID 1, then it will give you the ID equals to 1. So 1 will be selected, and we will open the choice from question number 1. If we select the question number 2, then it will always give the choice when the ID equals to. Okay, so this is the result. So what we can learn from this chapter, actually, we learn about the MVD. M means the model. So the model is the classes in a model, which is the SQLite. And V is the views with relevant functions to connect to HTML file via the URL response. And then the T, the templates, are the relevant HTML files. So we can say that M is the model, this is the DB. View is the Python file, or this is will be the backend, and the T is the HTML. So you, in your team project, at least you need to have these 3 components. You need to have the DB, you need to make the views, which is the Python file, and then you need to have the HTML file. Okay, so you already have the idea about this model. This is the reference that I use to create this material. Now let's move to the next chapter. So I already give you the materials about user registration and management. So in this example, I would like to show you the system architecture. And yeah, you need to also make a plan about your system architecture for your team project. And I will make another CRUD for users. And now the CRUD will be available on the web. And we will review the system architecture at the end. So in this section, you will learn the system architecture. And then let's try to apply the CRUD, CRUD. Let's say I want to register a user. I want to make a detail list. I want to update or I want to delete. So system architecture, what is system architecture? System architecture is a conceptual model that defines the structure, behavior, and moral views of a system. A system architecture diagram will be used to show the relationship between different components. Usually, they are created for systems which include hardware and software. So if you see this one, if you see this figure, it is a kind of system architecture. We want to show the connection from one devices, or this is from one like mainframe to personal computer or to personal laptop. So usually they are created for systems which include hardware and software. So it is the hardware, this is the hardware, so maybe this is the software. And these are represented in the diagram to show the interaction between them. So we want to show the interaction between these components. It can also be created for web application. So you can use the system architecture to draw the web application. So in this case, the web programming, we are going to use Django, and we are going to show the MVD concepts. So we are going to show the M, which is the model, and then V, which is the views, and T, which is the template. So the M, it means we have the database, and then we are going to make some presentation unit, or we are going to make some assignment rules, and then maybe this is the instructor. It will give you some instruction, and then this instruction will be saved into the database. And the database, if the user, maybe the students, connect to the web, and whenever he access something, then it will show the content. And then the content will show some other components, and the other components will connect to the learner model agent. Maybe this one will connect to the database and so on. So this is one example about the system architecture. So let's make this system architecture for our class. We will make a new data or a new model, which is member. And in this member, we are going to make some functions in the views.py. We are going to make list members, create member, update member, delete member. I can say those are the functions. And in the urls.py, I would like to create at least 4 paths. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 paths. So the first will be about the member deletion. and next it will be about member update. It will be about member insertion and about showing the member details. And we will have three kind of HTML file. Member delete confirm. We will put everything in the member form, and then we will put most of the thing in the list members. Whenever there is a request from the users, it will go to this part. It will connect to the urls.py, and then it will connect to the views.py, and finally it will give response to the web browser. So we call this is the view. It is the controller, and then this is the model. Okay, now let's check from the previous section. Maybe I will just use the work from the previous one. We have the big project. So you already start the project, and then you already manage the setting, you already do the migrate, you already have the super user. Now let's make a new app, and then we will do something on the settings. We will make the model, and we will define everything with this step. Okay. Start the app. Okay, let's make a new app. I will create a new app, and the name of the app is user Mgmt. So this is the user management. You can type in the console with this one, Python manage.py start app user management. And if you finish with this one, you will have this one. Let's see. I will go to my Python, and then you can go to the Python console. Oh, okay, maybe I will go to the terminal. Well, let's go to the terminal. Okay, and then I will put the Python manage.py start app user management. And then you will see there will be a new folder here. Okay, there will be a new folder, user Mgmt, and the folder contains some files: admin.py, apps.py, models.py, test.py, and use.py. Okay, and then because we already have those, now we need to make sure that we can access this file. How we can make sure it? So you can go to the settings and then put this. You can go to the setting, and then make sure that the new app, you can put the comma, and then you can put the new app, which is the user Mgmt, and then we are going to connect to the apps, and then we are going to use the user Mgmt config. So this is an automatically generated file. This is an automatically generated file in this apps.py. So in the apps.py, you will see there will be one new class. The class name is user Mgmt config, and the default autofill, it will create a model with big autofill, and the name of the model will be user Mgmt. Okay, so this is from the apps.py. Okay, so after you have the install app, okay, after you have this user mgmt.apps.user-mgmt-config, let's go to the next. Let's create a model or theme. So in the folder user mgmt, you can open the models.py and let's make this one. In the models.py, I want to make a table and this table, the table name is member and there will be 4 attributes. Salutation, which is a char field 10, first name, which is a char field 30, last name, which is a char field 40, and email, which is an email field. So let's copy this one into the models.py in the user mgmt. So in the models.py, you will see this one. Okay. I would like to get the models from this Django.db, and this will be the attributes. The char field, the maximum length is 10, the first name, the maximum length is 30, the last name, maximum length is 40, and the email is email. Okay. And after I have this, make sure that you can connect to the admin. The admin.py means, yeah, if you put or if you register the model, then you can access through the admin page. You can copy and paste and put into the admin.py. In the admin.py, you can have this one. So it means every time I connect to the admin, I would like to import the model from the members class, okay, because we have the member class in the models. And I would like to register the class member into the admin side. Okay, after I have in the admin, then let's do make migration. So there are 2 ways, like last time I mentioned to you, we can do the make migration in the console, or you can make the make migration in the tools with the manage.py. So it's up to you. Let me just make with this console. I will do the make migrations on the new app, which is the user mgmt. When I do the make migrations user mgmt, you will see that now it creates a new model, which is member. And let's do migrate. Put all contents into the Django runtime. So I will call this one Python minutes.py migrate. Okay, so those 2 steps. The first is make migrations, and the other is migrate. You need to do this one to apply your database into the Django environment. And you will see that now user mgmt 0001 initial, now it is okay. So you can run the project, big project, and then you can go to the admin. So if I go to the admin, Yeah, in my case, because I already have my user and password, so yeah, you can check in your site. If you cannot go directly to this Django admin, you can input your ID and password, and then you will see that there is a new section here, user Mgmt, and you will have one new class or new table, which is members. Okay, now let's just try to insert one data. Okay. It's up to you. Let me follow this one. The salutation is Mr. and the first name is AA and the last name is BB and the email is this one. Okay, let me make a new member, add member. Mr. Okay, AA, BB, okay, abc.com. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, until now, is there any problem? Okay, now let's try to make the first web with this kind of data. So I'm going to adjust the folder because yeah, maybe when you do your team project in the middle of the progress, you want to change the folder name. Okay. So in the previous example, we are making the FAQ. And for the template, we just put the HTML in the templates folder. But I have a new app and I want to make the category. Let's say I want to make the list choice.html and list quest.html into the folder FAQ. So let's create a folder FAQ in the folder templates. So in the folder templates, okay, in the folder templates here, I will make a new folder, or I can make a new directory. And let's make the directory name is FAQ. And after I make the FAQ, you can see this one. Move the list choice.html and list quest.html into the FAQ folder. So I can click on those two files. Okay. I can click on those two files and then move those into the FAQ folder. What you can see now is there will be a question. Are you going to move this file? So it means now the HTML files will be located in the folder FAQ. And if you do the refactor, it means everything, every code that connects to this HTML will be changed automatically. So we call this refactor. So you just do the refactor and then what you can see here from the views.py. Okay. If you open views.py, you can see the list choice and the list quest now change into FAQ slash something something. Okay. Okay, so let's make it a little bit quick. Okay, you know already about the views.py, you know already about the urls.py, and you know about the HTML. So first, let's go to the views.py and let's make this one. It will be in the folder user mgmt. Okay. So first I would like to show the member list. And then I will create the urls.py. This urls.py will be in the folder user mgmt. So I will create a new file urls.py and then I will put this code. So I will make urls.py and then I will put this code. So every time I connect to this one, I will go to the function list members. And then I will do these changes on the last part. So this is the URLs in the parent folder. The URLs in the parent folder should include the user mgmt.urls. The URLs in the parent folder should include the new one, which is about the member. So we have admin, FAQ, member, and the member will be the user mgmt URLs. And then let's make a simple templates. So the name will be listmembers.html, and let's make it inside of the folder user mgmt. So it means I will make in the templates, I will make a new directory. Oh, sorry. User mgmt. And then I will make a new HTML file. List member. And then I will change this one. Okay, list members. Okay. So I will look at the result. If I connect to the member, then you will see the member list. Okay. Here you will see the member list like this one. Okay, and any problems?